exploring the world's costliest construction blunders, ranging from devastating engineering flaws resulting in tragic bridge collapses to instances of windows tumbling from skyscrapers. We present 4 of the most significant cases of these expensive mistakes. We begin with number 4, the horrific Mississippi Bridge collapse. The collapse of bridges stands as one of the most catastrophic incidents in infrastructure failure. It frequently stems from engineering and construction deficiencies or a lack of proper maintenance. In the case at hand, both factors likely contributed significantly to the disaster. On August 1, 2007, the I-35W Mississippi River Bridge, operational for 40 years, collapsed into the river. The tragic event claimed the lives of 13 individuals, with 145 others sustaining injuries as over 100 cars and 18 construction workers plunged 40 meters into the water. This calamity, marked as one of the most significant tragedies in Minnesota's history, revealed several issues with the bridge. Despite being classified as structurally deficient, indicating a critical need for repairs, it was discovered that the bridge might have endured if not for a crucial design flaw. The gusset plates connecting various beams and sections of the bridge were only half as thick as required. Additionally, the investigation uncovered that nearly 300 tons of construction equipment were on the bridge during the collapse. Combined with rush hour traffic, this imposed further strain on the structure, causing the thin gusset plates to fail. Following the incident, numerous lawsuits ensued, resulting in a $52 million settlement for the victims of the bridge collapse. In an effort to prevent similar tragedies, the state legislature allocated $2.5 billion for a bridge improvement program, with approximately $250 million set aside from that fund for contracts dedicated to the reconstruction of the bridge. Number 3. The skyscraper that almost caused a tragedy. Erected in the 1970s at a cost approximately $122 million, the Aon Center stood as the tallest building in Chicago, boasting a height of 346 meters. However, its noteworthy features extended beyond its towering stature. The facade, adorned with Italian marble slabs, lent the Aon Center a distinctive aesthetic. Yet, this unique choice of marble eventually proved to be a costly and perilous oversight. The thin marble slabs installed during construction began to crack shortly after being affixed to the facade. Merely weeks after the tower's inauguration, one of the unstable marble blocks dislodged and plummeted. Weighing approximately 160 times that of a full-grown lion, the falling block crashed onto the roof of a neighboring skyscraper. Fortunately, the incident did not impact the street, and no injuries were reported. Concerns arose regarding the structural integrity of the entire tower. Nonetheless, architects emphasized that the issue was confined to the facade, which they promptly secured to prevent additional blocks from falling. Over the subsequent years, the fluctuating temperatures in Chicago caused the thin marble slabs to bow outward once again, leading to further cracks. In 1985, as a temporary measure, steel straps were affixed to prevent the blocks from falling. However, this proved insufficient. 5 years later, the entire exterior cladding had to undergo a facelift. The marble slabs were replaced with much thicker granite panels, incurring a cost of $80 million, nearly a quarter of the skyscraper's total construction expenses when adjusted for inflation. The Aon Center wasn't the sole tower from the 1970s grappling with objects dislodging from its facade. Another example was the CNA Center in Chicago, completed a year prior, where windows began cracking due to thermal expansion, posing a threat to pedestrians below. In 1999, a tragic incident occurred when a window on the 29th floor cracked, resulting in the death of a 37-year-old woman. Subsequent legal proceedings concluded with an $18 million settlement, and all windows in the building were replaced. Similarly, a Boston skyscraper completed in 1976, the renowned John Hancock Tower, faced challenges from thermal expansion. Cracks in its windows led to some falling out and crashing onto the pavement. Consequently, the streets surrounding the high-rise were closed during high winds, and over 10,000 windows had to be replaced to address the issue. Number 2. San Francisco's radioactive problem. The shipyard was anticipated to be the focal point of San Francisco's most extensive redevelopment initiative. Positioned in the city's bay, the former Navy Yard hosted the largest U.S. facility for nuclear research, with components of the atomic bomb Little Boy being loaded onto a heavy cruiser in 1945. Subsequently, the Navy sought to address the radioactive waste at the site, envisioning plans for a comprehensive transformation. These plans encompassed the construction of over 12,000 new housing units, numerous parks, and offices. To set these plans in motion, Tetra Tech, a company, was awarded $250 million in cleanup contracts from 2006 to 2012. Simultaneously, 2 different contractors were assigned to build homes while the cleanup efforts were underway. However, the shipyard's future became uncertain after allegations of cleanup fraud emerged in 2012. Multiple whistleblowers came forward, alleging that Tetra Tech had falsified the cleanup process to expedite the project. The accusations claimed that workers from the company manipulated data by using soil samples from uncontaminated areas and presenting them from samples from contaminated zones. 2 years later, Tetra Tech admitted to falsifying soil samples, attributing the issue to individual employees. The U.S. Navy agreed to a revised plan to address the remaining contamination. Concurrently, the initial portion of the land was handed over to property developers to commence house construction. By 2016, over 200 homes had been developed and transferred to residents. However, an independent review of Tetra Tech's data revealed a greater extent of falsified soil tests than initially believed. Nearly half of the previous cleanup work was deemed based on false information. A subsequent review by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in 2018 disclosed that the Navy had downplayed the scale of the problem. In light of these findings, the development was placed on indefinite hold. By then, at least $1 billion had been spent on the shipyard cleanup, with over 350 housing units sold for approximately $1 million each. As the project faced delays, numerous lawsuits ensued, seeking up to $30 billion. Homeowners sued developers, who in turn sued Tetra Tech, while Tetra Tech initiated lawsuits against the U.S. Navy and EPA, citing a lack of evidence. In 2022, a San Francisco grand jury reported a new complication for the shipyard. Previous cleanups might prove ineffective due to rising groundwater linked to climate change. Previous strategies had assumed that dry areas of the shipyard would remain dry, but increased groundwater has the potential to mobilize dormant contaminants in the soil. The project encountered significant delays as most housing units were originally slated for delivery to homeowners by 2020. But the majority of these transfers are now not expected until at least 2026. The project's future remains uncertain, and the cleanup errors have rendered at least $1 million spent on it futile. Number 1. South Korea's horrible bridge disaster. Constructed in 1977, the Seongshu Bridge spanned the Han River, linking South Korea's capital Seongdong and Gangnam districts. Due to recurrent overloading, the bridge experienced one of Seoul's most significant disasters in history. The catastrophic collapse occurred on October 20, 1994, with an entire slab between the 5th and 6th legs of the bridge plummeted over 50 meters into the water. A car, a van, and a bus were caught on the collapsing slab, while additional vehicles fell off the ledge and sank into the river. Tragically, 32 individuals lost their lives in this incident, with 29 passengers on the bus among the victims. An immediate investigation was initiated to determine the causes behind this calamity. The bridge, originally designed for vehicles under 36 tons, had experienced increased traffic over the years due to Seoul's rapid urban expansion, allowing loads exceeding 47 tons per vehicle. The primary contributing factor was identified as inadequate welding on the steel trusses of the suspension structure. Rust had set in on bridge supports, leading to overall degradation. Despite multiple warnings, the structure had not been adequately maintained, culminating in the tragic collapse. Following the accident, 7 city officials responsible for bridge maintenance were arrested, and the city mayor was compelled to resign. Although Seongshu Bridge collapse was the most significant in Seoul, it wasn't the first bridge collapse in South Korea, with at least 8 similar incidents occurring since the 1970s, including 3 on the Han River. Under intense public scrutiny, the government initiated an emergency inspection program for bridges nationwide. Simultaneously, a plan to repair the Seongshu Bridge was launched. However, structural weaknesses were discovered, rendering repair impossible. Consequently, the bridge had to be demolished and reconstructed. The new bridge, completed 3 years after the collapse, was designed to closely resemble its predecessor. Yet, the memories of that fateful morning in 1994 continue to linger among Seoul's residents to this day. If you liked this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.